Some dreams aren't just images we see while we sleep. Sometimes, dreams bleed into our reality, leaving behind deep and painful scars. Some stay in the corner of your mind all day, yet they aren't strong enough to change your life. But rarely, there are dreams that make you feel, from the very moment you wake up, that this was no ordinary trick of the mind. A weight settles in your heart that you cannot explain. No matter how much logic you use to suppress it, a voice inside whispers, "This was not just a dream." I know many such stories, but today, I will tell you about one of them. Kerem was a 38-year-old man. His life was ordinary, and he had no interest in dreams or the mystical. He worked as an accountant for a construction firm. 5 days a week, he left home at the same time, took the same roads, and usually fell asleep in front of the television. He had no major traumas, no illnesses, and no history of psychological issues. That night was no different from any other. He went to bed, scrolled through his phone for a bit, and drifted off to sleep without even realizing it. But the dream he saw was the kind that would change the rest of his life forever. In his dream, he was standing in an old train station he had never seen before. The station looked abandoned, the walls were cracked, the signs were rusted, and a deep silence ruled the air. There was no sound of a train, nor the presence of another human being. Kerem didn't know why he was there, but strangely, he wasn't afraid. It was as if he was waiting for something. Suddenly, at the far end of the station, a single digital display flickered on. The screen showed only a name and a date. Name, Kerem Yilmaz. Date, November 17, 2026. The moment he saw this, an indescribable unease washed over him. The name was his own. The font, the color of the screen, even the flickering of the letters, it was all terrifyingly realistic. Just as he tried to step closer to the display, a muffled voice echoed from the station's speakers. The voice, calm yet cold, said only one thing. After this date, nothing will be left unfinished. At that moment, the dream ended abruptly. No one could stay calm after such a dream. Kerem woke up suddenly in the early hours of the morning. His heart was racing, his throat was dry, and he was gasping for air as if he had been running for hours. Everything in the room looked normal, but the unease would not leave him. He grabbed his phone and checked the time. It was 3:17 a.m. He tried to explain it away with logic. Maybe it was work stress, exhaustion, or a movie he had watched. But no matter how much he thought, the clarity of the details disturbed him. Especially the date. Because the date he saw in the dream was exactly 3 weeks away. Throughout the day, Kerem tried to forget. He went to work, attended meetings, and spoke with friends, but in the corner of his mind, that train station and the digital display remained. But here is the strangest part. From that day on, Kerem began waking up every single night at the same time, 3:17 a.m. And every time he woke up, he felt as if someone else was in the room with him. I think anyone would lose their mind if they saw such dreams repeating with such precise detail. Let's continue. In the days following the first dream, Kerem saw the same scene over and over. But each time, small, disturbing details changed. One night, the station was covered in fog. Another night, the date on the display was brighter. Sometimes, the voice from the speakers felt closer, as if it wasn't in the station, but directly inside his ears. The most terrifying change appeared in one of the final dreams. A small line of text had been added below the date. For those who are not ready, this is not an end. But for those who see, there is no turning back. Kerem could no longer ignore it. His focus at work slipped, he made mistakes and rechecked even the simplest calculations. His friends noticed he was tired and tense, but Kerem told no one. He didn't even know how to describe it. And then, strange things began happening in real life. This is a true story, and thinking about it makes one's skin crawl. In Kerem's house, the television would turn on by itself while unplugged. Muffled static came from a clock that had no radio. Several times, despite being sure he had locked the door, he found it slightly ajar in the morning. One day, while returning from work, he had to take a street he had never used before. At the end of the street, there was a rusted sign. The sign read, November 17th, The final trip. Kerem stood there for a long time, staring at the sign. A void, similar to the one in his dream station, opened up inside him. For the first time, the thought that these dreams were not a coincidence took a serious hold of his mind. As the days passed, Kerem became more withdrawn. Every new day was marked off the calendar, and the date drew closer. There were only 2 days left until November 17th. That night, Kerem had his clearest dream yet. This time, he wasn't alone in the station. A man stood before him, his face hidden in shadow. The man approached Kerem and spoke directly for the first time. "This is not a punishment," he said. "This is a reminder." Kerem tried to see the man's face, but no matter how close he got, it wouldn't sharpen. Finally, the man turned and pointed toward the tracks. There was no train, but the sound of grinding metal was approaching from the distance. One last announcement came over the speakers: final stop. On the morning of November 17th, Kerem woke up early. He hadn't dreamed, but the weight inside him was heavier than ever. He didn't go to work. He chose to stay home. He checked everything, locked the doors, closed the windows. Toward the evening, the restlessness became unbearable. It was as if something was forcing him to go outside. And without even realizing it, he began walking toward an old, abandoned station that looked exactly like the one in his dream. When he arrived, he learned the station had been closed and unused for years. But the station gate was open. He stepped inside. The digital display was glowing. It said only one thing: time is up. Kerem was found dead in the station that night. According to official reports, he had suffered a heart attack. However, one of the police officers investigating the scene reported that the station's broken speaker system had briefly flickered to life at the time of the incident. And in Kerem's pocket, there was a note with this sentence: "Sometimes, dreams do not warn. They only remind." After this event, the security cameras at the station were examined. But after the moment Kerem entered, there was no footage. It was as if no one had been in the station at all that night.